What's up, my people who love fiction? Today I'm going to be reacting to my goals video for 2023 that I made 1 year ago. Alright, so I made this video a year ago and I can already see my hair is so much longer than it was when I made this video a year ago. And I even cut it in between this video and now. I cut it during May, which we'll get into. Hello writers and readers, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over my 2023 writing goals. I'm sure that if you're a writer or interested reader, you've seen a lot of these videos already come out and it's quite late into January. However, yeah, we were really ill in January. I was sick at the beginning of this year and I wasn't sure kind of where my goals sat, but today I'm going to share those goals with you. This is also kind of a video evidence of what my goals were so that I can review them at the end of this year. We're here. Now, if you're a writer, the dream is to be published. And for most of us anyway, some of us just enjoy writing for ourselves or our family. I'm super excited because this year, this book is going to be my debut novel. It's coming May 1st this year and I'm very excited about it. So my goal, my very obvious goal, to publish 1 to 2 books this year. I'm not sure if the second one will come out late this year or early next year. Well, it's early next year and I'm gonna make a separate 2024 goals video, but I can tell you it is not coming out right now. It's probably not coming out until the end of the year, but I did publish my first book at the end of May and I am so happy to say that I've sent to a couple events and not a lot of books, but I've sold some books and I'm still very happily marketing Soul Chaser and I just love my book still, and I'm working on book 2. But that it will be in the works to be published around that timeline. Now, this novel has taken me 3 years to get to the point of publishing, and I'm very excited because currently I'm doing line edits on it, which is all the nitty-gritty, making it flow really well kind of stuff, which isn't my forte, but thankfully I have an amazing editor, so I'm looking forward to the finished product, being able to hold the book in my hands. It's kind of a little bit surreal sometimes to be able to hold this book in my hands and appreciate that I made it, that I worked so many thousands of hours on this book. I can hold it in my hands now, and that's something I'm so proud of that me last year really wanted. Yeah, I accomplished that goal, safe to say. And yeah, line edits are definitely not my favorite thing to do, but I'm better at them now that I've had to do them a few times over this book, which was a very rough novel. To start, it's good now. And of course I will do an unboxing here on YouTube, so please subscribe if you're not, and that video will come probably a little closer to release date. It did come out. I will leave the link in the description for the video. I did do an unboxing. Well, I opened my first copy on the channel, and so I will link that video down below. You can probably hear my cat purring. This year, because it's my debut novel, it has a lot of first steps, so making all your accounts and ordering your first proof copy ever and all those kinds of things, which I'm very excited for. The whole process just excites me. I do give more regular updates over on my Instagram, so go follow me over there. I will of course leave the link in the description box below. I do update more frequently on Instagram, so definitely go follow me over there on Instagram, but subscribe if you're not subscribed already here. I'd love to have you in this bookish community. So all these first steps were such a giant pain. I'm so looking forward not to doing them again because you have to set up everything. Taxes, bank accounts, all your accounts with the publishing companies, making sure you got the formatting right the first time and all this other stuff. So many things to get right the first time. Then I'm so grateful that that's all set up and that I now don't have to do all that going into the next book. Now, besides my big goals of publishing 1 to 2 books this year, I also have some other, which would seem more minor but probably would add up in the long run, goals, which are to expand and train my writing muscle in certain areas that I'm lacking. As writers, we always can improve. We're never going to be the perfect writer, and so as I'm going into this next year, I've got set aside days where I can practice writing in a short story form, or just with a prompt or something, just to work on certain elements that I know that I'm lacking. And this way I can improve as a writer, not on necessarily a long-term project always, but little increments here and there that will. So I did work on this in a specific sense. I made a video series here on YouTube last year called Plot Pantsing, and I'm sure there's another name that it could be used, but that's what I called it. That's what the series is called. And I basically vlogged a process where I was working on a project in a different way to kind of play to some weaknesses I had and to try and strengthen especially my character work, because this book in particular has a lot of characters. And so I did do that throughout the entire year. I also invented free write day, so on one of the days a week I put a chunk of time aside where I can work on any project I want, whether it be the Soul Chaser or whatever other project I'm mainly working on, or something else that is just a side project or not a current main project, or just a little scene that I wanted to work on. Will help me in the long run. One of my main things I want to improve on specifically is character voice when it comes to my main character. I can write side characters quite well generally, however the main characters sometimes over several of my novels can sound the same if it's particularly a female in first person. So I'm going to learn how to write the character's voice better and do a little bit more character development before I jump into the process. Because I am a pantser, sometimes this is difficult. I just want to jump into and start the writing of the actual words, and so I think leaning into that process of actually working on the characters beforehand. So when it came to characters, this is one of the main things that I did in my Plot Pantsing series, was working on the characters. And I did have a female main character POV in that book series that I'm writing, and I did do a lot better. And I also wrote a couple other female point of views through this entire year, and I would say that I've gotten a lot better when it comes to first person present tense female voice. It's sometimes still gets muddled, but I think I'm a lot better, and I can always keep improving. Of course, as writers we can always improve, but I definitely can say that I worked on that goal. Even if I'm not to the finish line, I worked on it a lot. Now my third goal is to actually lean into my writing process. Over the last year I've been kind of playing with some things and forgetting other things that I've learned about my writing process that have helped me significantly. So if you watched any of my NaNoWriMo diaries, I will link that down below. I did them last year and this past year, which is during November. Which is so funny, I've actually been noting this to a few people, is I've been working on the same project past 3 nanos, and the reason I didn't do this nano was because I was in an editing phase where it was kind of weird. It didn't really fit nano. I didn't really feel like doing it with the pressure, and so I just edited. But I was editing the same novel that I wrote last year and had written the year before, but I had to rewrite it into the version that I'm working with currently. So I'm still working on that novel, and I have been working on it for 3 years on and off, and I'm gonna keep on working on it because it's book 2 to Soul Chaser, and it's hopefully gonna come out sometime. I will put it in the 2024 goals video. Remember, I vlog every day and share my process of writing 50,000 words. Over the process of writing 50,000 words for the past 2 years, I've learned certain things that I do and help me be productive. So one of them was super simple, like writing for 35 minutes instead of 30. I for some reason get so much more productivity in those 35 minutes than just a 30-minute sprint, which is so insane to me. It's just 5 minutes, but it improved my writing and my word count significantly. And I had learned this previously, and that I went and tried to force it into a different mold of just 30 minutes because of something I was trying, and it didn't work. I went back to the old way, and it works way better. So if you were curious what I was talking about there, the HB90 system, which I use and I love, I will put her Etsy shop and planners down below. You should go check them out. She's got amazing courses. I haven't taken the courses, but I've been self-taught somewhat for the HB90 planner, and it's in 30-minute increments for the task blocks, the time tracking. And so when I was doing hardcore writing, 35 minutes is better for me, but setting that up in a 30-minute thing can be a little bit difficult, and so I just had shrunk it down to 30 minutes, and I was like, it can fit in 30 minutes, that'll be fine. But I was right that 35 minutes does work better for me, but I'm in a phase right now of editing where it doesn't really matter what time I do it at, just as long as I'm working on the edits consistently. So when I do go back to drafting or writing more, this will be helpful advice, but currently it hasn't really affected me because I've been pretty much editing this entire year, only writing a little bit here and there to rewrite the book. So sometimes relearning things about myself helps my writing process. I really want to lean into that joy and in the process this year. So working on really nailing down the stories that I really love and sharing them with others, yes, and of course recording the process here. That's why I made this YouTube channel. I really love sharing what my journey is and vlogging, so if you're interested in that, of course, subscribe. I have been inconsistent over the past year on YouTube, and I've made amends, and I'm going to do better this year, so subscribe. We're gonna have some fun content this year. Make sure you've got your notification bell on so you don't miss it. I want to build a better community here, build a more knit community, so let me know if you're a writer or a reader down below, a planner. We do all of that here. The joy of writing for me feels like this very childlike joy, if that makes sense, this very naive, amazing feeling that washes over you when you get a story to the right place, or you do a certain kind of process, or you write a certain kind of scene. And I really want to lean into that this year and really make it an exciting, joyful process. And so that's one of my goals this year, is to make it more joyful, lean into things that bring me that joy and that productivity. So with that third goal, I think I did achieve that. It's really hard to say because there were a lot of ups and a lot of nothings this year. There were a lot of phases where I was working hardcore, I published a novel, and then I just didn't write for 2 months. And then I wrote a little bit, and then there was nothing. I wrote a lot, and then there was nothing. And so it was kind of hard to maintain this year. I'm hoping it's better this year with less changes in my moving and other things like that. With that said, I do think I was in a really joyful place a lot of the time. I was daydreaming a lot more. I was enjoying when I sat down to write, and so I think in a sense I did get that joy back when it comes to my writing, and I'm going to continue to keep working on that going into 2024. I also forgot to talk in the video quick about my hair. So on May 1st, it was release day, and I decided to cut my hair up again. I had cut it originally in August, and then I cut it again in May, and it was because my main character, Tia, she has short hair, and so I kind of did it as a character reflection and as a fun release day thing. And so my hair has since grown out and is quite a bit longer now, and I'm taking care of it wavy and curly and stuff now, so the texture is a lot different than it used to be. But that was really fun to do, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do for book 2 release, but I'm excited to think of some things. If you've read Soul Chaser, let me know down below if you have any ideas. That was all for today. I will be putting out the 2024 goals, so stay tuned for that. I thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.